Look at this. Look at the propaganda machine that has been turning out this week. And this is why I think that they are taking this course of action. They're doing it the way they are. They're obviously not doing nothing. Okay, that's clear to see. They are fighting back. But look at the way the propaganda machine has word interaction. This is the BBC political editor quoting out this thread. This was deleted, this thread was made private and everything because it was full of errors. Full of it. And yet she said if you've been following Labour anti-Semitism story over the last couple of years, it's worth reading this thread. It was just full of errors. This is on a different political scale, but Tories also have a problem. So this is about, you know, institutional racism of Islamophobia in the Tories, but she says, oh, it's on a different political scale. This is not as bad as the anti-Semitism one. The thing is, this actually, if you look at the statistics, is far worse in the Tory party. If you just look at the statistics and you look at the facts, this is far worse in the Tory party. But they only speak about anti-Semitism, or majority of the time they speak about anti-Semitism. When they do speak about Islamophobia, it's on a different political scale. It's on a different political scale. It's not as bad as the anti-Semitism. It's complete nonsense. You know, the Independent will run articles saying almost 1,000 people have co-signed a letter calling for Chris Williamson to be booted out the Labour Party. No mention of the other petitions that have gained more signatures than the one they quoted. None at all. But it's all one way. No mention of this in the BBC either. This was in Evolve Politics yesterday or the day before, 1st of March, yesterday. Tory politicians are running a vile Facebook group where members joke about bombing mosques and shooting immigrants. These are Tory councillors running this Facebook group, running it, admins of it, shit like that. BBC ignoring it totally. Why? Because it's not as bad as the Islamophobia. It's on a different political scale. Do you see the propaganda? It has been, honestly, I could do a video for about 2 hours on the propaganda just that we saw in the first 3 days of this week. It was incredible. But this is the sort of crap. There's one of the positions, by the way. The article in the Independent saying that, oh, nearly 1,000 people. It's obviously over 1,000 now. Had the same amount calling for his reinstatement, but they didn't mention that at all in the Independent. Sajid Javid, meanwhile, while all this was going on, he was honoured to speak there. The Jewish community jumping on board. Honestly, I think this whole thing, I think this was set in motion months ago when they all had that meeting. You remember when the Blairites had that meeting? There was reports of a secret meeting that they had back in, what was it, June of last year? Around the time of Chequers was happening and the Chequers deal. I remember it. Although I think those members were there, the TIG. I think this was all planned. Remember, their whole aim is to keep Jeremy Corbyn out of power while still hanging on to their seat. That's all they're trying to do. First of all, I want to say well done to the Squawk Box there for actually publishing the letter in full, because as far as I can tell it, you know, none of the other mainstream ones have, and especially highlighting the parts that are of particular concern and particular interest, because actually if you just think about the Israel influence, it's not like Jenny Formby and Jeremy Corbyn don't know this. Of course they do. They probably know it better than any of us. But they have taken a path here I don't think is the correct one. But I still, you know, at least they are showing me, they are fighting, even if it is just the bare minimum they're doing it. I haven't lost hope yet. But like you all, I think I am losing it. It's not completely gone yet, but I do think I am losing it. The reason it's not completely gone is this. The people of this country and the members of the Labour Party. Now, a load of people have told me that they've left the Labour Party. I'm not going to tell them what to do. I'm not going to tell them whether to stay or whether to leave. What I will say is this. If I was in the Labour Party and I had done as much as you had done, I wouldn't quit. I wouldn't give up. This is the Blairites win then. I wouldn't quit. If I was in the Labour Party, I wouldn't quit. And you know what? I'm still not going to quit even though I'm outside the party. And you know what? Neither should you. Okay, I'm not going to tell you whether to stay in it or leave it or whatever. You know, you do you, but don't quit. Don't quit. We haven't got time for this incrementalism that Jenny Formby and we haven't got time to mess about with this. We haven't got time to do it inch by inch. We haven't got time to get rid of these Blairites year by year by year. You know, there's about 150 of them. The problem that Labour have got is this. Jeremy Corbyn doesn't have the support of the MPs, but he has the support of the members in the party. That's the problem he's got. So the MPs are therefore going to stop him becoming Prime Minister, but they will do everything that they can do to hold on to their seat. These are selfish, self-serving bastards. They only care about themselves. It is up to you, it's up to us, to say to them in one loud, clear voice, listen, if you don't represent us, this is your last term. We are going to fucking vote you out. The same way the Tea Party did with the Republicans after Obama came in 2008. The Tea Party went in and demanded change, demanded it, and would not buckle at all, would not bend. They said, this is what is right, we're going to get it, and if you get in our way, you're going to lose your career. And this is what the members of the Labour Party need to say to these politicians who are Blairites, who are not representing you, and the people who are there to sabotage Jeremy Corbyn and make sure he doesn't become leader, rather than elevate him to that status and do everything that they can to do it. They're in it for themselves. Now, they know that they can't get rid of Corbyn as it stands. They're trying to desperately. But at the moment, he's still got the support of the party. So even if there was a leadership challenge, then it'll go the same way as before. They have a leadership challenge, he wins by a bigger margin. They have a leadership challenge, he wins by a bigger margin. I've no doubt if they did it again, he would win. I'm not sure whether it would be a bigger margin now, but he still would win. So the sort of their whole focus is to frustrate him. That's it. And you can see that in what they're doing here. You can see what they're doing. You can see how it's manufactured. You can see it clear as day. At least I can. And I'm trying to show it you. I hope I'm doing a good enough job. Because the problem is, Labour, we haven't got time for this. These Blairites in your party, it's been 6 months since this vote of no confidence, this mandatory reselection passed in. I haven't seen any of them. I've seen a few little piddly votes, but they will say, hey, they're meaningless. It's the process. Quicken up this process. It's been 6 months. Nobody has faced any reselection. None of them. Quicken it up. We've got to get them out. We've got to get them on the back foot, and they've got to be scared. And what have they got to be scared for? Their seat in Parliament. That's the only way you are going to change it. You either change them or you get them the F out. It's up to you, Labour Party members, the ones who are still there. I will do what I can on the sidelines, and other people, I'm sure, in independent media will report on it as fair as possible. I'm a supporter of Corbyn. I am. But that doesn't mean I'm not going to criticise him when it is warranted. And this week, it's been warranted. Let's face it. He's been weak. He's shown nothing but weakness. Now, I understand that he's playing a political game. I personally think we haven't got time for that, Corbyn. We haven't got time for it. We haven't got time for incremental changes. We need massive overhaul, and we need it now. And the people who know that the most are the young. The people that overwhelmingly support you. And this is what he needs to show them. He needs to show them that he's the man who is going to oversee this radical change that we need and the young need, and the more intelligent of us, I think, I would say, need. We need a radical change, not just to our politics and our political parties, but also to the media. And this is the big point I want to make. They're scared of coming out and going head to head with the media because this propaganda machine is massive. And it is powerful. You saw it in action earlier this week. I'm sure you did. It was relentless. It was just, you were drowning in it. You couldn't get your voice heard above the parapet of noise of propaganda. You just couldn't do it. It was absolutely astounding. It was astonishing for me, and I cover it every single day. We've got to break this media hold, because that's what's keeping the status quo intact. It's the media it's the glue that is holding the neoliberals and the neoconservative stranglehold on over our government together. It's the media that is holding it all together. That's who we've got to overhaul it. Personally, hey, I'm all for overhaul if you think you can do it. I would much rather smash it to 1 million pieces and start again. But then, you know what? I'm a bit of a radical. I think that's what people like about me. Jeremy Corbyn used to be a bit of a radical too. I think it's about time he started showing that side of him a little bit more. Don't you? For more truly honest, independent media like the video you just saw, please subscribe and click the bell below as well so you get a notification of when I drop further videos. If you also like and share and comment on the video as well, that really helps with the algorithm and boosts exposure. And if you can support me, please do so. You can do with any of the avenues on the screen at the moment and below this video. You can support me for as little as $1 a month on Patreon, and every dollar helps. We need your support at the moment. We do not have an operating fourth estate. I'm sure you're aware, a functioning media holding power accountable is vital for democracy. At the moment, we haven't got it. So people like me are having to fill their shoes and do the job for them with your support. Thanks very much for your support. Till next time. Peace and take care.